Reproduction. The parts of the male and female reproductive systems work together as one human reproductive system. Human beings reproduce sexually, which means that half of a baby's genes come from its mother and the other half come from its father. This mixing process leads to genetic diversity in the human population. Sperm are produced by the male reproductive system, and eggs are produced in the female reproductive system. When sperm and an egg meet, a baby begins to form. Male reproductive function. In the male, the organs of the reproductive system work together to perform the following major functions: produce sperm cells, the male gametes, produce fluid called semen, in which the sperm cells travel, and transfer the semen and sperm to the female during intercourse. In addition to sperm production, the main parts of the male reproductive system have additional functions. The ureter takes urine out of the body, and testicles produce male hormones that promote secondary sex characteristics, such as differences in musculature, size, and hair distribution. Male reproductive anatomy. Sperm are formed in the testes, or testicles, and leave the male body through ejaculation. After the sperm forms in the seminiferous tubule of the testes, it moves to the epididymis. In the epididymis, sperm gain the ability to swim and fertilize. Sperm travels through the vas deferens, a muscular tube that moves sperm out of the testes. Then, the seminal vesicles and the prostate gland produce semen, which will give sperm fuel and a fluid in which to travel. Finally, sperm reaches the urethra, a tube that runs out of the body through the penis. Pictured on the right here is the male reproductive system. Female reproductive function. There are 5 major functions of the female reproductive system: producing eggs, the female gametes, receiving sperm from the male, getting an egg fertilized, developing an embryo and fetus, and delivering a baby. The ovaries also produce female hormones, responsible for inducing secondary sex characteristics such as breast development and menstrual cycles. Female reproductive anatomy. The main organs of the female reproductive system are the ovaries. They grow and store eggs and produce hormones. The fallopian tube transports eggs from the ovary to the uterus. The uterus, which is also the womb, houses and nourishes the growing embryo. The cervix leads from the uterus to the vagina, remaining closed until it is time to deliver a baby, at which time it opens or dilates. The vagina collects sperm from intercourse and also serves as the birth canal through which the baby leaves the mother. Pictured on the right is a diagram representing the internal and external parts of the female reproductive system. Puberty. Puberty is the period when someone changes from being a child to being physically capable of reproduction. At a certain point in a child's growth, the brain tells their body to start producing more male or female reproductive hormones. This is the onset of puberty. It begins with hormones released from the endocrine system. Signs of puberty in males and females is diagrammed on the right. Sex hormones. For males, the most important sex hormone is testosterone, as it promotes maturation of the adult male body. For females, the 2 important sex hormones are estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen stimulates the uterine cycle, regulates other sex hormones, and promotes the development of the adult female body. Progesterone stimulates the female monthly cycle and also regulates other sex hormones. Testosterone, pictured on the left, and estrogen, pictured on the right, are very similar molecules that have important functions in the sexual maturation of males and females. Menstrual cycle. Unlike testes, which produce sperm all of the time, ovaries do not produce eggs non-stop. In fact, when a girl is born, all of her eggs have already been produced. They rest in the ovaries in an undeveloped state until they are ready to be released. A female begins to have a menstrual cycle when she goes through puberty. Menstrual cycles use hormones to control the tightly regulated release of eggs from the ovaries and periodic shedding of the uterine lining. Menstrual cycle. In the menstrual cycle, there are a few key events. Each of these events is triggered by rising and falling hormone levels. The menstrual cycle is counted starting on the first day of a woman's period, which is considered day 1 in the cycle. Unlike males, females are not fertile every day of the menstrual cycle. On average, a woman is most likely to get pregnant between days 10 and 15 of her cycle. This is the time period right before and right after the release of the egg from the ovary, a process called ovulation. Menstrual cycle. FSH, LH, and estrogen all peak around day 14, and they are involved with ovulation, which is the release of typically one egg from the ovary. After ovulation, all the hormone levels drop, except for estrogen. Those levels continue to stay high, in addition to the spike of progesterone, and both of these hormones are involved in the preparation for pregnancy. Integration of organ systems. Although organ systems each have specific functions, they usually work together to carry out those functions. Think about the following processes and determine which organ systems are involved in each. 1. Kicking a soccer ball. 2. Getting oxygen to the cells of your fingers. And 3. Chewing a saltine cracker.